Did I save the best for last? I'm not sure, but I'm going to say yes, I did. Because cute little Pebbles. Too cute. And she's super easy to color. Just like our previous two, like Kazoo, like Bam Bam. Super easy to color. Skin tone, we're going to start off again with our E11, E21, R20, E00, and E000. And yes, I said them in a different order, and we are going to learn why, because I'm going to give you another option on how to color in some cheeks. So we're going to start with our E11. So we should be used to this by now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add that E11 along her hairline. And what I'm going to do is I'm adding it to the... Oh, where am I adding it to? It's a good question. Yes. I'm calling it to the fronts of these hair pieces, not to the back. Just because we're going to do a little something different with the shadow and the light, and just a new technique. So we're going to give her a little bit of that E11 under her ear. And we're going to give her a little bit of that E11 right up under her cheek here. And we're going to stop before we hit her eye because we don't want to go in there. A little bit right there. A little bit under her neck, just a tiny bit. And again, these images are really small, so you're just using the very, 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 very tip of that marker. We're going to put a little bit right down here by her hand and her elbow. A little bit right here by this elbow. And then the bottom of her feet. And just under her top. And here we're going to come under the bottom of her foot as well. And that was our E11. Super, super simple. Next up is our E21. So our E21 is going to go on the back side of the hair. And come around the ear and go into that E11. We're going to go into the cheek and up and over this line. In the neck, over into her arms. Around her little legs. And we're going to add a little bit right under there now. Then here's where we're mixing things up. So this is where it gets a little crazy. So now we're going into with our R20. So R20, we're going to go in and put her cheeks in right now. So we're going to put her cheek right in here. And we're going to make it nice and big. And then we're going to put it on this side. And we're just going to make it a little bit smaller, a little half, just over there. Now we're going to go in with our E00. And we're going to bring that skin tone down from her hairline and from where it's shadowed. And here, once I kind of get here, I'm going to go around and I'm going to outline her eye with a circle. Just so I've got a guide. And I'm going to come down into the nose. And I'm going to come down from the ear here. And now we're going to go right through and around her cheek. And up. And then under her mouth and around. And we're going to start to soften that pink. We're going to start to soften that R20. And we're going to go right into her neck. And into her legs, and we're just adding in there and blending it. So she's got a nice light skin tone with just very minor shadow. Then we're going to grab our E000. And we're just going to color just around this cheek side here, and we're just going to come in and sweep over that cheek. And under her chin a bit, just under her brows, and just sweep out a bit. And here we have our Pebbles skin tone, absolutely super duper easy. So next we're going to do her hair, and her hair is going to be YR07, which is our cadmium orange, our YR16, which is our apricot, our Y17, which is our golden yellow, and our YR21, which is cream. So when you're going through these, just remember it is YR07, YR16, and then a Y, not a YR, that Y17, and then the YR21. Sorry, my camera, I think, was going a little kooky from the light there for a second. So starting with that YR07, that cadmium orange, and we're just going to do just tiny little bits flicked out from the corner. We're not going to do a whole lot. So we want to save a little bit of space for those other colors. Now right up here over this bone here, we're just going to throw in just a few tiny little flicks. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for you there. And I always find it easier to kind of flick away from yourself, color away from yourself. So I'm going to turn the image to make it easier for me. And there we go. That's pretty easy. And then we'll zoom back out a bit. So next up is our YR16. Sorry, I kind of bumped the camera, so it might be a little shaky. I apologize. So it's our YR16, or apricot. And I'm not starting right from where I began the color. I'm starting from a little further out, just so I'm not over blending some of these oranges together. Actually, and I'm going to start right from the ponytail because I didn't put any dark right in from this side. Then we'll move to our Y17, so that golden yellow. Now this one I am going to start a little bit more from the interior of where I colored. I'm going to spin her around. And just add a little bit of that around that little bone there. Then our YR21, which is our cream. And this is where I am going to kind of go over everything a little bit. And here I'm going to make sure there's no white space. But this is kind of like our central highlight now. As well, this color here isn't our final color because we are going to go back and add a little bit more definition into her hair with some of the colors that we already laid down. This is just kind of our initial layer to get things saturated and situated in there. So I'm going to go back in now with my darker color, that YR07, and we're just going to kind of revive some of those little marks, those little flicks. But with these ones, I'm not putting them everywhere. Not going in quite as much as I did at first. And then that YR16, I'm going to zoom back out a little bit for you. And there we've just added a few more in there, and her hair is complete, and I think it looks super cute. So while we're up in the hair, let's color that little bone on top, and we're going to use that same color combination that we did for Bam Bam for his. So that's that W1, W0, and W00. So this side, I'm going to color all with the W1. I'm going to make it really darker over here, and just a little bit into this bottom part. W0. Go up a little bit higher and right up into the top here. And then the 000, I'm going to just color right in this top a little bit, and I'm just gonna do a couple dabs in there and let it do its thing, because it'll naturally dissolve some of that ink or reduce it a little bit. And then she's got her cute little bone. It is now time for her adorable little dress, and that is going to be YG25 Celadon green, and our YG03 are yellow green, and our YG01 are green bice. So we're going to start with our YG25, our Celadon green. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but hey, we're going to go with it. So we're going to start this right in the corner of her little top. I'm going to zoom in just so you can kind of see it's a little bit better. Apologize for the shaky. Don't want you getting seasick on me. So I'm going over this a few times. I'm not just doing one pass. I'm kind of really getting that YG25 saturated in this corner. I'm going to bring it out a little bit, and I'm going to sweep it out under her arm, but I'm not going to touch her arm. So here I've left that little bit of white space right there. Next I'm going to go YG03. So that yellow green. And starting in, we're going to move it out. And now I'm leaving white space at the bottom of that as well. And I'm coming under this line. Still leaving white space at the top. So now I have a little bit of white space on the top, bottom, and the side. And I'm going to color right in here as well. So that was the YG03. Now I'm going to go in with my YG01. And I can fill this space in, so I'm going to bring that color in. And I'm going to bring it down on this side. I'm going to spin her around a little bit, and then I'm going to sweep it under where that white line was in here. And I'm just going to bring that in, and we're just going to soften it slightly, just like that. And that is her top so far. Then she has spots as well, so we're going to use that E44 as well that we used for little spots on Bam Bam. So we're just going to put some tiny ones in, just a little. Maybe not so tiny. Just randomly in there. And then the same thing, I'm going to take my little black liner, and I'm going to add some little dots for definition. And honestly, this is just kind of done to your preference of what you would like and how you want her little top to look. But I just thought it kind of, again, was cute. So now time to do her little pants, and then we're done. And do you know what? I just noticed I didn't color the arm skin in her arm. I'm so sorry. I'm going to use that E00 to fill that in right now. How silly. How silly. How did I miss her arm? All right, so we're going to do her little pants, which are B05, which is Process Blue, BO2 Robin's Egg Blue, and BG 000, which is Pale Aqua. Sorry, and I keep on realizing now that I'm like reaching across to grab my Copic, so oops. Sorry about that. All right. So the darker side, we're going to put this dark blue, the first blue, right in here. We can just dab it in and it almost completely fills it. Then we're going to put it right here, and there's a little bit of white space under there, and it only kind of went around her leg. Then we're going to put in our B02. So I'm just going to fill this in here, just a few little taps. And then we're going to just do a few more little taps out here, just kind of very light blend and leaving that white space around. Then we're going to go in with our BG 000. And we're going to color that outside edge here. We're going to spin it around. And we're going to bring that right in. And it is a small space, so coloring in small spaces, you're just going to have to use just the very tip of your marker. But there she is. I think she's looking super, super cute and adorable. What I am going to do is over her little animal spots, I'm going to go in and I'm going to dab in a little bit of Y17. So sometimes you look at an image and you're like, I don't know, something needs to change. I've decided I just want to warm these spots up a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of color over them. It's going to make a minor difference, but to me, I'm like, that's what I want to do. So now I'm going to grab my Posca pen, and we're going to add those also important highlights. So I'm going to put the highlights in her. Oh, do you know what? And it's hard to tell, but I don't think I colored her tongue either. Look at me just jumping all over the place, so I apologize. So R20 on her cute little tongue. So I apologize for that. Small image, it's hard to tell. So we're going to give her little eye highlights and kind of keep them right up to the top of her eyes here. But see, doesn't she just get cuter just like that? We're going to put a little bit of highlight right into her little shorts. Let's just put a dab or two into her hair. Not a lot, just the tiniest little bit. Some into that bone, just to make it a little brighter up in here. And just a little bit maybe right into the back of her shirt. And we have our cute little Pebbles image. So let's bring them all together. So working backwards, we have our Pebbles. We have our adorable little Bam Bam. Yay! And we have our Great Gazoo. So now we've got these all colored up. Next up, we're going to make their little friend Dino.